Hello, welcome back to Man Cave Hobby. So today's video is the T-Lite radio by Jumper. I know this thing's been covered to death. I was supposed to get it like a month and a half ago. That's when I got the tracking number, but it finally showed up. I do have some Byte news. I also have some DJI news. I also have some Orqa news. So there's quite a bit of stuff coming up. I got an index down below. I'll make chapters in the timeline there so you can just skip over the stuff you're not interested in and get to the stuff you are. Guys, I know this thing's been covered to death. It's been tore apart, every single thing. But I do have a couple things I would like to add just in case you're on the fence about purchasing this thing. This thing is so close to being a perfect radio. I mean, this close to being perfect. If the engineers in our hobby would just fly the toys that they make, they would have no problem making good stuff because they would know what we need out here. And this is another case of that. I mean, it's so damn close to being perfect. So close. But I'll show you that. I'll break it down on the bench. So let's get down to the Byte news. Kind of had a falling out a little bit with DJI, or I'm sorry, not DJI, but Fat Shark. Over something I think was absolutely ridiculous. It was the latest firmware. I know I told everybody out there on Facebook and RC groups that the firmware is done. It's Monday at the latest, because that's what I was told. I was told Monday at the latest. And Monday rolled around and my message box started filling up on Facebook. RC groups message box started filling up. People are asking, where is it? So I contacted Carl at DiviMath. I said, you know, where is this firmware? And because I tested it, so did Nick Burns. There was some things that there were some elements that were not working, but they're elements that very few people are ever going to use. So I had a little bit of a list there to talk to Fat Shark about and say, hey, look, you know, these things could actually be removed from the firmware and then added in later on. But the gist of what's there is what we've been asking for since Byte Frost. Okay, so I mean, what, a year and a half now? Lots of stuff went into it. It's a huge package, and the stuff that we typically use is there, and it works. But I didn't get a chance. I didn't get a chance because I don't know exactly what exactly happened during that conversation. It was a very short conversation I had with Fat Shark, and I'm not sure if something just got lost in translation. I was shocked when Greg from Fat Shark had really no idea what was in this firmware. That shocked me because during the Byte Frost firmware, the one that just came out here a couple of weeks ago, I was on the tail end of that. So Greg said, hey, you know, would you test this? I need somebody I can trust. I tested it. There was some issues, particularly as far as upgrading the firmware on the ground station from the Byte Frost. And so once that was done, it was green lighted, it was up and going. I thought this was a similar situation. I thought that I was on the tail end. Greg already knew what was going in. He already knew all of the elements that were being packed into this thing. But that, I don't think, was the case. I think he was I think he was shocked, to be honest with you, because he asked me, what is all this stuff, you know, basically, and why is Carl getting requests for all of this stuff? And, you know, and of course my answer was, well, this is what the customer's been asking for. I mean, you know, but it didn't go over well when I said that. So the conversation really went downhill from there. So I've decided, because of that, just to step away from the whole Byte thing. I provided lots and lots of hours, and many of you know that, by helping you with your OSD, other customer service type issues. Plus just really promoting the thing, because there's nobody else doing it. I mean, Fat Shark is truly not really promoting this thing on any real significant level that I can see. You know, so yeah, it's growing organically, but I mean, there's really no hype, if you will. And that's kind of what I've been doing for the last year and a half. And so I have the firmware on this. When I do test this radio, you will see some elements of that firmware. There's nothing I can do about it. There's no base firmware for the Whoop boards for me to load up on this thing and get rid of the new firmware. So it's not about leaking anything or about being a jerk. It's just I have no way to revert back. You see what I'm saying? There's no base firmware for the Whoop board. There is for the 20x20, but not the Whoop board itself. So you're going to see some things on there. Whatever, it doesn't matter. There needs to be a lot more urgency with SharkBite. There has to be a lot more urgency, because that leads me down to the DJI news. I just watched Andy RC. Andy RC just did a beta FPV 85 Whoop with a naked Vista. So it's coming naked from beta FPV. And I find that to be extremely interesting, because it's not where you're stripping off the heat sinks and stuff. It's already being done and put into a finalized product. And I guess, you know, Andy RC, he never tore his down. I would like to see him tear it down, but he didn't. I'm hoping Nick Burns gets this thing and he tears it down proper and kind of shows us what's going on there. But I guess with the little micro Caddx camera, the little mini or whatever the hell they call it, it comes in at 14.2 grams. Well, the SharkBite is at 12 grams. So, wow, that's really getting close to SharkBite territory as far as putting these things onto Whoops and sub 250 quadcopters. And the image quality outdoors, partly because Andy didn't upload it. He just uploaded at 1080 60. He did get the better codec. I checked, you know, Stats for Nerds on YouTube. He did get that the better codec, but it still seemed kind of blurry, like the trees were blurry and so on and so forth. But once he got inside that house, holy man, I didn't know he lived in such a nice house, because he's always flowing analog in it. But beautiful. I mean, what an image. It's the dynamic range, the colors, everything about that camera. And I guess, according to Andy, they said they're going to come out with a better camera. So they're going to use the better imager from the Nebula V2 into that little micro camera. Wow. That's freaking huge. So, I mean, the Vista's a 20 by 20. So mounting it, you'd have to have an adapter plate to mount it, to, of course, to a Whoop board. But there are a few all-in-one Whoop boards out there. In fact, I just checked some on Get FPV, and they are a little odd sizes. You know, I mean, like 41 millimeters in length, as you know, as opposed to like a 20 by 20 or you know, a 22 or 23 by 23. So they are a little bit different, and they're like 33 wide. So, but it is possible to get an all-in-one, really lightweight 40 amp board and then just mount the naked Vista on top of it. That's huge. It truly is, honestly, huge. So, I don't know. I mean, we got to have some urgency out of Fat Shark on this SharkBite system. There's got to be a lot more urgency. The longer that they wait to drag their feet on stuff, the more people, especially with the V2 helm out now, more people are just going to end up going to DJI, and you're not going to get those people back. It's going to be very, very difficult to get those people back, because that's a huge investment. Okay. The other thing with DJI too, which I find kind of funny, is that was it Spider Monkey? I think his name is Spider Monkey. This guy's been uploading video of the new Plastic Fantastic FPV drone by DJI. And I find it funny, he did an unboxing video. Well, he didn't do the unboxing video. He re-upped the boxing video, but he's been posting some flight videos. And if those are the DJI little Plastic Fantastic FPV drone, I gotta tell you, the thing really scoots. I mean, it's no joke. It's not going to be like a full-on 5-inch quadcopter, but it's really no joke. That actually seems like a pretty viable product there for FPV. But what I find funny is that there's a certain reviewer, I'm not going to name names, but there's a certain reviewer that's just throwing an absolute fit about it, and it just tickles me like there's no tomorrow. Because, you know, for months now he's been dangling his NDA that he's got with DJI, and it's really just being a shill. I mean, an absolute shill. No longer a reviewer, shill. And he's actually admitted it. At least he admitted it. And so I appreciate that. But it's just funny that, you know, the unboxing videos out there, because, you know, he even admitted it. You know, like I said in my previous video about this drone, these guys are going to come out with these huge productions, these huge infomercials. They're going to go out of their way to please DJI. Because, you know, that's one of the most brilliant things that DJI has ever done, is make their customers into marketing drones. I mean, seriously, they do. These guys just they get all googly, you know? And so, I don't know, I just find it funny. But his name is Spider Monkey. You can look it up on YouTube. You can see the unboxing video of it. You can see, I think it's the flight footage of it. And he says that once he gets up there on subscriptions, he's going to release all 10 minutes of a flight video. So that's pretty interesting. I don't know, it's just kind of funny. I mean, because, you know, you got somebody out there that's, I think, was hoping to leak it first to the Discord site, you know, so you can learn something today. And you're not going to learn anything because Spider Monkey's already uploading stuff. Orqa. Orqa got themselves a government contract. So, U.S. military government contract, that's hugely exciting. There's a lot of people and governments that are interested in what we're doing and interested into the products of what we use. And so this is really huge that they reached out, grabbed that brass ring, and got that huge contract like that. Because, you know, with contracts, government contracts, as we know, government's not about saving money. Government always spends money. And so, especially the U.S. military, I mean, it's like a drop in a bucket to them, right? So it's really cool that Orqa got themselves a really good contract like that, because it'll help pay back the investors for the helm and maybe have some money left over to, I don't know, come up with an FPV system, HD system, all, you know, with Immersion RC, of course, with Tony over there, on their own. I think that'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it? You know, to have 3 players battling back and forth. So I know Byte's got some things coming up, but it really comes down to urgency. And the more time that goes by, the more people are just going to be invested in DJI, and you're not going to get those people back. That's just all there's to it. There's a lot of people still on the fence. They're still flying analog, and they're still happy with analog. In fact, analog has made some real serious jumps in the last, I'd say, the last year and a half to 2 years now, that it really is of good quality. I mean, a lot better than what we're used to flying. But, you know, they're going to want to go to HD. HD is eventually going to take everything over. Will it be DJI taking all of it over? Or will Fat Shark get a little piece of the pie? Or if Orqa comes in with something even better than the Byte, are they going to take even a bigger piece of the pie as well? Who knows? But it's exciting to be a consumer. I can tell you that much, because the race is on. So let's get down to the bench. I want to talk about this radio. All right, so here we are. So let's just talk about a few things. First of all, screen's nice and bright. I like how this is all laid out, the trims and all that stuff, because you don't get it damaged like I've damaged this one so many times. You can see how floppy loose it is. You can see it just wiggles around by itself. I'm on the third board on this, but my gimbal's all wore out and everything else. This thing was so close to being perfect if the engineer would just fly. Unless he's got really small hands, because, I mean, granted, I got what are these, 3.5X, I think is what these are, but I don't have sausage fingers, you know. I just have really large hands. But here's a couple of problems I have with this. This here, when I fly this, boom. Now, granted, I got gimped up arms. I've had massive surgeries. That's why it's called dumb thumbs. But look at this. Okay, no problem. If I want to switch modes, it's this little right here, which I do use modes because of the rapid fire. The rapid fire would desync when I first got it. Almost caused me to wreck into a car. So now I do use horizon mode. This is my rate. This is my horizon when I start out. And, you know, so if something happens to my video feed, even Byte, if I get a total whiteout, I can just go to horizon mode, and at least it levels out the craft. I'm not continually, it's not flying on its own where I don't know where the hell it is. So that's what I use that for. And you can see the small little switch down here is just the arm switch, which is easy to hit. If I get in trouble, if I go down, it's really simple. Plus, you know, I got my, this also turns off, well, it turns off everything. It just goes into horizon mode. There's no, yeah. And this is my rollover, and I don't even use this one. So this radio has served me well. It fits in the hands. It fits in the palms like it's supposed to. And it just, you know, you can choke up on it if you have to, if you got smaller hands. You would have to have, you know, put your fingers here, here, and here if you're going to hybrid, or if you're going to pinch, you need, you know, a little bit longer. I don't do any of that stuff, so it doesn't matter to me. This one here does not feel well at all. So let's just start with the obvious, and the obvious is where the switch positions are. This should be here, this should be here, and the reason why is there's just no landing. So if you arm, where's my finger supposed to go? You know, and this is my mode switch. I mean, where's my fingers supposed to go here? There's no landing here to rest my fingers. I mean, you can rest them a little bit on the back, I guess, but that feels weird too. I just don't understand what the hell they were thinking with this. So here I am, I'm going along, and all of a sudden I just disarm my craft in midair. That's awesome. If this is all the way up, that's great, and I can go down to horizon mode, I guess, and that does give me a little bit more room, you know. But even with that, I mean, it just feels strange. It just, like this, these need to be shorter. If you're thumbing, they need to be, oh wow, yeah, my middle finger's even thicker than, because I use it a lot in traffic, maybe, I exercised it, but it's even thicker. Look at this. You can't do anything with this. I mean, it's just stupid. So, but let's say I was pinching, oops, my battery hack fell out, which is another thing we'll talk about. But yeah, I don't know, you could do it, it's just that right here, you just need a little bit longer, but you could do this. Hybrid. Pinching though, I think you're going to be running your finger into the sides here because it's round, as opposed to having a, you know, a hex here, you know. Yeah, I don't know. Game style radios are not usually for pinchers because they don't have a lanyard or anything like that on it. So let's talk about, I just used a battery hack because I'm not going to go out and buy a bunch of batteries. I just used 11mm socket, just jammed it in there. But let's talk about that. Let's talk about the real failure of this radio. They advertise this for use with Crossfire and other modules, okay? But it's a 1S, and Crossfire needs 2S. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. They put like a little modification with a buck converter and stuff. I mean, it's just stupid. I mean, guys, look, and here's another problem too. If you put the battery in backwards, it fries the radio. I mean, it's a simple circuit. It's a simple circuit. Every piece of electronics has that. Ugh. I mean, it'd take more time and cost more money to print up the sticker than putting a little circuit on your, if somebody does accidentally do it, so what? If somebody accidentally reverses the polarity, it saves the radio. I don't even understand this. It's just stupid and cheap. But right here, you can see there's plenty of room to put a battery here and a battery here, just like the X-Lite radio. And then they could have just molded in 2 doors as opposed to this fancy looking door. They could have just had 2 cheap doors right here, 2S, you're done, okay? But no, they kept this thing up on pre-sale saying, no, it'll work with Crossfire and other modules. And then at the very end, when they started shipping them out, oh no, there might be a problem here, okay? I mean, even if you had to create more of a molding here for a greater recess, that would be great. That would be great, because look at this one. They got the side profile good, okay, for the Xbox controller, okay? But look at the Xbox controller. Look how much of a recess you have with an Xbox controller, okay? And the Xbox controller, you don't have, I mean, this is a multi-billion-dollar company. They probably spent millions of dollars, focus group in this thing, coming up with different molds for hands for everybody that's a child all the way up to an adult. But you can see how we use the Xbox controller. It's a lot shorter throw. This is a lot farther in on the radio, okay? And you can hold it with one hand very easily because there's so much recess there. But you can see, I mean, it just, well, they got it right as far as trying to copy that, but they didn't get the recess. Even the X-Lite has a recess, a massive recess here, see? So it fits better in the palm, it fits better in the hand, it just fits better for a rest with your fingers back here, see? Same thing with this, it just fits better with your fingers back here. It fits better. So with this here, you can see it's shallow. So even if they put more recess right here to put 2S in these here with 2 cheap battery doors like your TV remote control, done. And then with this area here being empty, they could have put the speaker back here instead of being covered up by the palm of your hand. It just does. Engineers, I don't get it. Fly your crap. You would know better. You would have known better. And then that way you don't have to do any battery mods to get your Crossfire up and working at the full wattage. I mean, it would have been a perfect radio. It's this close. I love all of this. I love the screen. I love all of that. These things I hate. I mean, they're for pinching. They're for radio or for airplane guys to pinch. We don't do that. We need to hit them. And you could have easily just used smaller switches with shorter throws. you know? I don't know. I like the radio and stuff, but I think that they're this close. I mean, even if they charged $85 for this radio, or, you know, to be honest with you, if they would have fixed this, and made it 2S, I would have given you $100 for this radio. No problem. I mean, I honestly would. You know, and shorten these, or just make them so that you can, like if you can screw them all the way up, it's good for pinching. Let's see, let's screw them all the way up here, and then let's try to hybrid this thing. Boy, it just feels so weird to do this because my hand's not fully on the controller right here. But I guess you probably get, I don't know. There's such a long throw here. I don't know. I mean, to me personally, as a thumber, I need to make these things so that they just are shorter. I'm going to cut them off is what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut these off like right about here and just make it so that it's shorter for the thumb, so I don't have to be so far up here. And I got long thumbs. So I don't know, guys. I just think it could have been a better radio all the way around. I would have paid $100 for it if they would just have flown it, made it 2S, made this a little bit higher reveal here, put the circuitry in there so you can't fry the radio if you put a battery in backwards, and then fix the switch here so I have somewhere to put my damn finger. You know, I mean, it's just, ugh. All right, let's just sum this thing up. I know I said I was going to do some flight videos with this thing. No, it doesn't fit my hands personally. Would I recommend this product? No, I really wouldn't. In its current state, I wouldn't. For me personally, okay? And that's what a review is, guys. I want to remind you of a couple of things about reviews and these review channels. There's certain guys out there that are just shill. Click on my link, I get 10%. Support my channel, join my Discord, and the whole 9 yards, right? Those guys are pushing product. They're shilling for themselves, okay? Stay away from those clowns. I mean, seriously, stay away from them. True reviewers out there, like Bruce at RC Model Review, is a true reviewer. That's why nobody sends him anything anymore, because they didn't like what he had to say. I mean, it's true. Nick Burns is a great reviewer. I mean, he's very fair, he's very balanced, and he actually is using this radio. I've seen him actually using this radio. And he's a big dude. He's got bigger hands, he's got thicker fingers. He seems to be flying this quite a bit. So here's what a review channel is, and here's what a review is all about. It's about the reviewer's expectations versus reality. That's all it is. And so you have a lot of different opinions. So before you buy a product, make sure to watch multiple reviews on that product to get multiple opinions and then decide from there. Albert Kim, I was kind of ticked off about the whole shark bite thing. I thought he kind of half-assed that one, but he did a great review on this radio. A great review, and now he's got some hacks for it because, you know, God forbid we actually buy finished products in this hobby where we don't have to hack them or modify them to make them work. I mean, oh, for years it's been going on. That's why there's review channels, because nobody trusts anything anymore. We've been sold junk for so long, and half-assed attempts, you know, throwing darts at a wall. Some engineer who doesn't fly, if he flew this, he would know better. He wouldn't. I mean, this is unexcusable. It's completely inexcusable to not have protection circuitry in modern day radio. It's just dumb. And a radio is not something that you buy like every 6 months. It's not like a Whoop or a quadcopter, right? I mean, it's something that it's an investment that's supposed to last you for years. 3 years, for example, okay? Granted, I had to have changed out the board a couple of times in this thing, but still, well, I'm pushing actually 3 years on this thing, I think. I mean, it's not something you buy every day, you know, because it's, number one, it's a pain in the ass to get all of your old quadcopters on the new radio. That's number one. So it's something that's going to last. I would have paid $100 for this radio if it was just done right. If it was just done right, I would have paid $100 for this, and so would have you. You guys would have done it too, okay? Because it is a great little gamer style radio that's this close to being perfect. Well, I'm going to go with this close because I didn't even bother flying it. I was just like, you know what? My fingers don't fit on this thing. I can't fly this thing. Now, Nick Burns did, though. So take a look at his video. Albert Kim did. Take a look at his video. make up your mind from there. But knowing Jumper, they're going to probably come out with a version 2 of this to fix the inherent problems they were too lazy or too inept to fix in the first place. Probably right around spring. It usually takes them a couple of months to pop their head out of their butts and actually fix the stuff that they should have done in the first place. You know, it's kind of like Cyberpunk 2077, the same damn thing. I got to wait, what, 6 months to a year for them to fix it. Kind of like what they did with Witcher, right? But yeah, if they would have just fixed the switches where they belong, where I have a landing for my finger, if they would have made the recess a little bit more so it cups in the hand a little bit better, and they would have just made it 2S with 2 cheap little battery doors right here and put the speaker right here, this would have been a fantastic, perfect radio. But be careful of the shills, guys. There's a lot of shills out there because they get 10% of the purchase price back to them. That's their commission. And if they're pushing a link or join my Discord, and just get rid of these guys. You work for a living, I work for a living. This channel has I don't make any money on this. This is an extension of my hobby. So I'm not going to be pushing crap here. And that includes the SharkBite. I'm not going to be pushing the SharkBite anymore. I mean, the SharkBite is what it is. It's an alternative to DJI. It's a lot less expensive as far as the overall system, but they really need to get the price down on that camera, especially that stupid camera. And then the run cam's junk. That should be a $35 camera. The Whoop board should be $35 at most. And the 20x20 VTX, to be honest with you guys, just get rid of it. I mean, it's a manufacturing nightmare. I said that from the very beginning. I've been very vocal about that to both Fat Shark and DiviMath. They need to go a whole different route with that 20x20 stack board. I'm not shilling. I'm not going to do it. Period. I think the SharkBite is a good system. It's a good alternative. I love the Whoop board. And you know what? I brought up the Beta 85 that Andy RC had. Okay, I got confirmation from Caddx. There's no warranty on that Vista and that. They said no. Once you've taken the covers off, there is no warranty on that thing. So is Beta FPV gonna stand behind a naked Vista? If Caddx isn't gonna do it, I got it right there. I got exactly what they told me. They said, no, you take off the covers, it's done. It's done, pal. So I don't know, that's kind of strange. I wanted to make sure because it sounded weird to me that they're selling a naked Vista in a finished product. I wanted to contact Caddx, and I did, and it's like, ooh, okay. But I mean, and they have no intention of making a Whoop board. They have no intention. They told me straight up, nope, that's as light as it's going to get. That's the size the Vista is going to be. That's it. We're not going to make a Whoop board. And that's where the SharkBite comes in. The SharkBite made, you know, Carl the DiviMath and myself came up with the Whoop board. There you go. That's why I've been promoting it, and only that. Have you ever seen the 20x20? And where's the 20x20? Have you ever seen me fly this? No, you haven't. Because I had nothing to do with this here. Nothing. Well, no, not really. But anyway, so I'm not going to be sitting here pushing it because it's not something I fly. It's not something I really support. I support the Whoop board SharkBite. That's it. Sorry for the long video, but I did put an index down below. If you love this video, if you like it, whatever, give me a thumbs up. If you like this radio, leave it in the comment section down below. You're like, hey, dumb thumbs. This thing's actually working for me. I actually like it. I know Nick Burns seems to like it. He's doing hybrid with it. So I don't know. Get other people's perspective, but stay away from the shills and sock puppets out there. Stay away from them. They're about selling. They're not about reviewing, guys. So please subscribe, and I got a video coming up next week. It's kind of a boring one, but not really. It's of a battery charger I got. I think it's pretty cool. And most importantly, these new parallel charging boards. Wow. I have the Josh Bardwell's ones I've been using for the last, I don't know, 2 years now. But these ones are so much better. So much better. So that's coming up this next week. And maybe some more news. Have a great night. Thank you.